There's a reason last year had two big zeros in it. It's just been that kind of year. A weird year.
This video is a result of that weirdness. Every year, your staff prepares an end of the fiscal year report for you. Some years, that's a written report. Some years, our leaders stand and deliver. But this year, they've gathered their thoughts and compiled them in a video for you, partly because it's creative, and partly because, well, just in case COVID creates a new kind of havoc for us, at least this part is ready.
Like I said, it's been a weird, crazy year.
It's been really, really, really crazy.
This was a year that threw new things at us, hard things. As a nation, we've become more polarized, less trusting, more demanding, less compassionate, and all of this angst in the middle of the new and terrible experience of a global pandemic.
There's been a lot of loss. We've lost friends, shared worship, in-person meetings, breakfast.
The COVID during 2020 was stifling to our committee. Since we are people-oriented, we like serving people. This is our passion. This is our ministry. There were no people to serve. So basically, the hospitality team was very inactive during that time. It made me feel very isolated, sad, unproductive, isolated, all of those adjectives.
We lost connections and togetherness.
I miss my friends.
And so did I, Willow.
It was like we were standing on the track, wondering where the train went.
But even during COVID, the church didn't stop being the church.
Youth is awesome. I'm so happy I'm in youth now. There's going to be a lot of fun stuff coming up, a lot of fun activities, and it's just the best.
The mission of God still called to South Meridian, so we found new ways to respond, creative ways to connect, good use of our time, fresh approaches to welcoming the kingdom of God into our days and our ways. We were flexible in our processes and with our goals.
Hi, I'm Stephen Ragsdale, and I'm representing the Stewardship Visioning team. Last year, we thought that due to COVID and so many ministry activities being minimized or paused, that we would take the year and do a lot of research. As a team, our goal is to help fund sustainable ministry and alternative sources for funding for ministry. And so our thought was that we would take the year and do some research on what grant programs existed, what just different funding sources for ministry. What we ended up coming across was a grant program through the Calvin Institute of Christian Worship that really aligned with some of our goals, and we had a great idea for a program that could help tie together our worship services and our presence in the neighborhood. And so we wrote for that. We were actually awarded $15,000 to be used over the course of this next year.
We made phone calls, sent cards, braved new technology.
We learned Zoom, posted mental health moments, Devos with Dawn, COVID updates with Dr. Green.
We even attended church in our jammies.
Right. We incorporated new words and phrases into our everyday language.
We learned to encourage one another in new ways, and we trusted the Spirit of God to sustain us,
to broaden our faith,
and give us a deeper appreciation for one another.
We continued supporting missionaries. We got creative with VBS.
We reconfigured one, retired one, and hired 2 fantastic humans.
We pivoted within our goals and look for ways to keep moving forward, keep engaging as Avondale neighbors, and keep hoping and dreaming.
See, God has been working continuously in this struggle-filled season. Like seeds prepared in the dark soil of winter to burst forth in spring, we've been watching, praying, planning, and anticipating the new energy of life and worship together.
We continue to be called to join our lives to what the risen Lord is doing in our midst. Listen to Ephesians 4, describing his present work among us.
So when we talk about connections with one another and our neighborhood, we'll do things like plan community meals that bring members of our congregation and community together for food, fun, and fellowship. We'll do asset mapping to help us become more aware of the kinds of gifts that are present in our congregation and neighborhood.
We'll initiate a new emphasis on small gatherings, groups that work, play, study, support, learn, or serve, or perhaps all of the above, together. We will provide seed money to support groups who develop great ideas for serving in the church or the community.
We will practice peace by hosting crucial conversations that help us talk together about subjects that often divide us.
We will strive to connect with one another in old and new ways.
And looking forward to this year, I think that the old traditional things that we've done in the past hopefully will be reinstated, such as our picnics, the Fall Fest, the Christmas dinners, Easters, and bereavement. Dinners are starting to ramp up again a little bit, unfortunately. And I think also that there are things out there that we are not even aware of, that where we can really engage many of our gifts as a hospitality team. We have a very diverse group of people. They're all ladies, but they offer to this team gifts of decorating, of frugal buying, of welcoming people, baking, cooking, organizing. And with all of those diverse gifts, we're open to whatever the future holds. Our mantra is basically that we will help ministries reach their dreams when there's food involved. But we can help with that, so that the teams do not have to worry about supplies or serving or whatever. So we're there to serve.
When we talk about growing younger, we will do things like welcome and support at least one ministry intern from a local college.
We'll call and invest in staff who will provide ministry leadership to children, students, and their families. And we'll shine a spotlight on the gifts of children, students, and young adults.
We will recruit students who can join our asset-based work in the Avondale neighborhood. And we will use social media to better tell our story.
I'm Liam, and last year I was supposed to be doing youth, but COVID hit. So this year I'm excited about the amazing opportunities to be learning about God, going on tons of youth trips, and the donuts in the morning at youth are also pretty good.
And when we are thinking with abundance, we will train roving listeners to learn about the gifts of our neighbors. We'll hold seminars to engage the gifts of writers, artists, and photographers in worship.
We will celebrate the gifts and stories of our Avondale neighbors. We'll encourage ministry teams to take learning journeys to study churches and nonprofits whose worship and community ministry we admire.
We'll provide music and art camps for the children of our church and neighborhood. Here's how Stephen says it.
So this next ministry year, we're focusing on 3 different things. One, we're going to be looking at our neighbors' gifts, the gifts that we uncover over the course of this year, and figuring out what blockers hold them back from being able to use their gifts, whether it's finances or building space or whatever. How can we as a team take those blockers out of their way so they can use their gifts? A second thing we're wanting to do is to tap into our relationship with Anderson University, try to provide ministry experiences for them, as well as take advantage of the gifts that they have and bring in their unique mindsets to our ministry situation. And then the third thing we're looking to do is to get better training in innovative ministry funding. We have some natural skills on our team, a really amazing group of people on our team, but we realize that there's knowledge and training out there that we don't have. And so we're going to take some time from some of our people on our team and allow them to become more experts in that area.
So here we are, changed, but still on the right track. We hear the call and we're excited to witness and participate in God's moving in, through, and around us.
We are worshiping together again, meeting in person, seeing each other face to face, and appreciating this more than ever.
Well, this church has been very special to, I think, all of the members on my team. So I'll speak for myself, but I feel very blessed to be part of this team of people who love this church, love basically what's happening within the church. Bless everyone in this church.
We have ideas and visions.
Speaking on behalf of the Stewardship Visioning team, we are incredibly excited about the future of ministry at South Meridian. There are so many cool opportunities ahead for us, and being a team that's looking ahead, we see so many bright things to be excited about. So,
Hey, friends of South Meridian, it's here, it's time. There have been so many changes in this season, but we live and move and have our being in the enduring, relentless love of God.
South Meridian, we are on track with God's love for this world. All aboard!